Welcome back to another quick tip guide in Medieval Dynasty. This time we are going to go over the economy tab. I do have a previous video going over supply and demand. This is very much the same thing, except this tab is way much better.
Don't worry, Big Daddy will help you.
So let's go into it. We've done a fair amount of days and seasons so that you can see the figures and the numbers of the production that we have in this village. If you press N for your management, you'll see these icons at the top here. If you go over to this bar little icon on the far right, you can see that we've got the economy summary. In the economy summary, we have today, yesterday, each season, then we have the current year, the last year, and your overall production over time, which is not very useful when you're trying to figure out how much you're producing per year or per season. As you can see, we have no issues with food, water, or wood. We are doing very well. Still early in the morning, but as you can see, this is what we have produced, what we've used, and the total amount, as well as how much has gone into storage. The most important one for me is how much we're producing and how much we're using, because by the end of it, if you've got a red number, that means you're going into the negative. That means your general storage is going to go down. Same as if you see a green number, that means we have produced something and we are getting a surplus of goods, which is great for our storage. That means we are bulking up for winter, which is very important. So consumables, this is where the juicy stuff is. This is obviously our water and our food. We are producing more buckets of water than we are using. As you can see, we have 3 produced, 2.4 used. That means we're getting a slight surplus. So our storage will be increasing over time. But if you look at the meat here, our meat is not looking very good. The reason this is actually offset and why I'm doing okay for food is I actually provide a lot of meat. So what they use, I actually deposit into the food storage myself. So I'm not too worried about this negative at the moment, but over time I would like to produce more food within the village. The other thing that's very important in this game is, of course, firewood. We are producing 192 firewood, which is fantastic. We are in the middle of winter and we're only using 92. So our total is 130 and that's in surplus. I would like to point out, however, I do have a 50% inhabitants wood for needs. I can't remember why I did that, but nevertheless, this is about the production tab. But as you can see, food and water is still sitting at 100%. So let's go on to yesterday's. This is where we're going to see the large bulk of our production. Anything that is unused, you can see we don't actually use a lot of this. The particular reason why they're not actually using the straw is they may not have the other resources necessary to create whatever they need that day. With the wooden bowls, at some point we will be using the kitchen. These will be going into negative in the future.
I would have a couple of suggestions for improving life in our settlement.
Why? What's wrong with it? What's wrong with it? What's wrong with it?
Friend.
Whoa. Let me have a closer look at you. You are our craftsman. Good lady. Your house is breaking as well. Good for you. What we're going to do is we're going to have a look at the current year because we are in winter, so that is coming to the end of the year. So let's have a good overview of this here. So what's good about these different seasons that you can look at, the autumn, winter, summer, is that you can actually find out what food you're getting in surplus and what you're actually using the most of in other seasons. For example, in autumn was the time that we were harvesting our cabbage and carrots. All the other seasons we don't have any food coming in, but in autumn we were harvesting everything that we had in our fields, hence why we produced all of these. We had a surplus of the cabbage, the carrots, and because we can't see the cabbage or the carrots in this production tab, that means nothing was produced and nothing was used. Because if we didn't produce anything but we did use one of the items, you will get this in the production tab. So if you don't see anything in this economy summary, that's because it was neither used nor produced in that season or within that time period that you're looking at. So I know for a fact that the cabbage and carrots we should still have in our food storage. So to confirm that theory, we're going to go have a look in our food storage and we should still have those exact same numbers. That means our villagers have not touched these items yet. There we go. So that lot there within the same number is the cabbages that we had produced last autumn. 372, because they're under a particular percentage of condition. We're obviously producing way more food than we're using. Our cabbages are starting to go off. Same with our carrots, 142, and there we have it. Those numbers match up. So this economy summary tells you a lot about what you have going on. I can see what's not being used. I can see what's being produced, what we're running low on, and what we're actually getting negative on. So obviously this meat is a problem across the entire year. If we look here, we've used a sufficient amount of meat over the course of the year. All of this would have been me depositing this meat into the storage myself. When I go out hunting or picking up the animals from the traps, this all accumulates and I just drop it off as I run by. And let's just have a look at the all-time tab. This doesn't tell us too much. This all-time tab only counts from when this update was first introduced to how much I've played. So there's not a lot of information on here. But the main thing is this tab is worthwhile. If you haven't had a look at the tab, the economy tab, this is very good for figuring out if you're missing something, if you're overusing something, if you need to up your production in one of your buildings because they aren't producing enough, or maybe you might not have the tools or the resources and you might think, why is that? You can fix these errors in your production line and hope that helps, and if it still doesn't help, it just means you're not producing enough for the amount that you need. Just a quick little tip, we do have the people's demand control right next to the economy tab. You've got this one here. You can ban items, you can prevent your villagers from consuming certain items. That way you can stockpile on items that you may wish to sell. This is the food items. Same can be done for the wood. For example, I've got sticks, logs and planks. I don't want them to use any of this for their firewood. They have plenty of firewood anyway. And you can also see the priority down here. So they'll stick with firewood first, then make their way down the list. If you have these ticked, this is the priority that they will go with. I hope that's helped. Winter is a dire time for everyone, so making sure you have enough firewood, food to get your villagers through the seasons is very important. I hope you enjoyed this little tips and tricks here. I'm going to go chop down that tree because obviously she broke it. Clearly she broke it. I don't know why. Until next time, I hope to see you in the next one.